Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and I am here today to share this simple card with you featuring a fun packaging technique for the background. So this is the card that we're going to make today, but before we get started, I wanted to share this product with you. This is a new type of product that Stampin' Up! Is carrying. It was first released in the 2024-25 annual Stampin' Up! Catalog, and it is called the Frames and Flowers Specialty DSP. And it's a little bit different. So DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. It's a little bit different than our regular paper packs because you get, let me share here, you get 3 pieces of double-sided pattern paper. And look at the colors in this paper pack. Like seriously, this is one of my absolute all-time favorite Stampin' Up! Products. I have been a demonstrator for just a little over 20 years, and this just, I love it so much. Wait till you see the rest of it. So you get 3 sheets of double-sided pattern paper. So you can see one side is a little bit more like florally with leaves, and you can't go wrong with leaves, right? And then the B side is just kind of simple patterns. So they combine beautifully. But then the other 3 sheets that you get in this paper pack are laser cut pieces. So you can see here, these pieces just pop out. So there's a strip, there's 6 different kind of panels that you can use for card fronts or on your scrapbook layouts. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share a bunch more products that I've created with this collection. And then we've got 2 more sheets of laser cut elements, and everything coordinates. So this specialty DSP pack really makes for creating quick and easy projects. Okay. All right. So let's set that aside. Now I'm going to share this packaging technique. I love to do this technique on my scrapbook layouts, but you can do it on cards as well. It's a simple technique, and it just makes my projects feel like they're a little bit more artistic. Okay, so what you'll need is you'll need a piece of plastic. And this is just, you know, when you order a stamp and die or a bundle and you get dies, the dies come in a cello package. This is just one of those cello bags. So any kind of plastic. Saran wrap, that probably won't work as well just because it's a little bit too flexible. You want something that has some give, but it still has a little bit more structure. And you'll need an ink pad, and you'll need a Stampin' Spritzer with some water. It's also helpful to have a paper towel handy. Okay. All right. So I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to use Lost Lagoon ink. And because this is a little, like it's a midpoint color, it's not too dark, but it's not too light, I really encourage you to play around. Lighter colors, you can use more ink. Darker colors, you might want to use a little less ink, but it depends on the look that you want to achieve. So I want it to be a little bit more subtle. So I'm just going to use a little bit of ink. So just like that much ink. You can smush your whole ink pad on there if you want. But just know that you'll have a lot, your color will likely be a lot more concentrated. And then I'm just going to take my spritzing bottle, and I'm going to mist it. And you want to mist it enough so that all that ink is wet and it starts to pool. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my water or my paper, and I'm just going to go like that. My paper towel, I'll tap it off. That will soften it a little bit. It'll also speed up the drying time. Now I still have ink on here, so I could do another sheet of white. I'm going to set that aside to dry, but I have this art journal. So it's called an Artist's Loft journal. And when I have extra ink from, maybe I'm doing some ink blending or not ink blending, some masking, and I've mixed some like shimmer paint or paste or whatever, and I've got extra, I will put it into here. So I am just going to tap that on there. I'll give it a flick, try to get most of that ink off. And then I've got a background ready for when I want to sit down and craft and maybe not make a card or a scrapbook layout. Sometimes I just want to craft a couple, like I just want to play. So here are a couple examples of some things that I've done. So you can see just kind of leftover. This was a mixture of ink refill and our pearlized accents, I think they're called. This, I had some extra shimmer paint that I needed to use. So this is just a notebook for me to kind of play around with. So you can see I was playing around with this with the packaging technique. I did some stenciling. Here's another one where I combined a couple colors. So I've got some backgrounds ready to go for when I want to play. All right. So now we're going to take this and we're going to distress around the edges. This is a technique. If you watch my videos or follow me, then you know that I do this often. I just love the look of it. It's simple. I don't need any extra tools, just a pair of snips, and I just love the look of it. All right. Now I'm going to give this a quick zap with my heat tool just to make sure it's fully dry when I go to put it on my card front. All right, set that aside. We're going to bring in our card front, which is a piece of thick basic white cardstock. And we'll adhere this to the front. Actually, you know what? We're going to hold off on that. Okay, so then what I did was I took one of those frames from the Frames and Flowers, and I'm going to add this to I'm going to do it on this side just because I don't want this to be upside down. We're going to just do half. So you can get 2 cards out of one of these shapes. And there's several of these kind of shapes in the catalog or in that paper pack. So I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on here. Peel off the backing. And then we're going to put that right on there like that. We'll flip it over and we're going to trim it off. And then I can create another one where I use this other half. So I'm going to turn this into a congratulations card because I think it would make a great wedding card. So I'm going to add adhesive around there. I'm just using some multi-purpose glue. We'll stick that right on here in the center. And then I've got this label shape, which I've cut using the Unbounded Love dies. So this particular die right here, I cut it from some petal pink cardstock. So this is going to get popped up. I'm going to use dimensionals again. I'm going to take just a smaller piece to kind of put, actually, you know what? It sits over top. We'll use a larger one. And then I'll just add a little bit of this because it's going to sit on top of this. So we'll pop that on there. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to bring in some white cardstock and I'm going to stamp the word congratulations in this beautiful font. This is from the Everyday Greetings stamp set, which is an online exclusive item. And we're going to use some Memento ink. Stamp that down. And then I want to fussy cut it. Now, if you are not a fan of fussy cutting, you could stamp it right on this label. I think, yeah, it'll fit. It'll fit right on that label. So if you wanted to stamp that, but I love the look of fussy cut words. So I've gone ahead and fussy cut it and I'm going to pop it up using some dimensionals. So I'm just going to trim around the edges just so I can get some narrow pieces. And we'll put one here. And then maybe one here. Actually, before I stick that on, I'm gonna take one of the leaves that is also one of the laser cut pieces from that Frames and Flowers package. I'm gonna position that right on there. And then I also took one of these little flowers. This is also from that same package. I'm gonna do that, but before I stick it down, I'm gonna take my white baker's twine bow and just position this on here like that. And then we'll use another dimensional over top. And just want to make sure I have enough room here. Okay, we'll pop that on there like that. And I'll just kind of curl up the edges just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'll position this on here like that. And then to finish off the card, I'm going to use some of our iridescent pearls. I'll just add a few of these on here. And isn't that a really simple but beautiful wedding card? And then I can stamp a greeting on the inside and we're good to go. Love, love, love it. So here's a slight variation. So I used a different wreath. I think this one was a circle one rather than an oval shape. I used 2 of those leaves and I omitted the little flower on that one. But otherwise it's the same design. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little card that I shared with you and the packaging technique. I encourage you to give it a try. Like I said, I love it and use it often. Okay, and then I had promised I'd share some additional samples using the Frames and Flowers. I've got so many things here. So here, this is using one of those panels, those pre-cut panels. And then all of these pieces were just the laser cut pieces. I added a vellum circle in behind. This is stamped using the Poised Peony stamp set. Here, I just die cut a circle out of there. This is another one of those panels. Here is another one where I use that wreath as a whole piece. Actually, it's not exactly the same wreath. It's a little bit different. Some more of those leaves. Again, this is from the Poised Peony. The Poised Peony stamp set is a great stamp set that it coordinates beautifully with this collection. Another one of those panels. Here, this I think was leftover pieces. Oh, let's turn it around the right way. This was another laser cut piece. I just added some labels in behind. This was cut from the strip that you get, laser cut strip. And then a few layouts as well. So most of these you can find on my blog. I've got several blog posts sharing these samples. And then here's another one. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you are not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Take care.